Hey guys, how's it going everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gents. Today we're doing something very cool. We're taking a look at the last DLC pack for LEGO DC Supervillains. This is the Young Justice pack, of course the pack that is based on the Young Justice show. And if you did not know, the Young Justice series has actually received a third season just recently over on the DC, I forget what it's called, DC Unlimited or DC World, something like that. I don't even recall because honestly it's not even available in Canada yet, so I didn't bother to even look up the name of the actual service. Nevertheless though, with that season upcoming, it looks like they were decided to add a DLC pack for Young Justice in LEGO DC Supervillains, which I'm very happy that they did because we got some really cool looking characters in this pack as a result of that. Now, of course, don't forget, guys, at the end of the video, let me know which is your favorite character out of this particular pack. I'm actually genuinely curious to hear your opinions and thoughts down in the comment section below. There's definitely some repeats, like, for example, Aqualad is just the Young Justice version, or Kid Flash, but we'll compare them to the other variations just so you could get kind of a good idea of what we're actually working with. So, let's kick things off with the one and only Artemis, who has one of the coolest ground pound attacks with the triple arrow launch. She does have these, like, explosive smoke bombs that she can throw around as well. Of course, does have the arrow attack that are available to her, which is super duper cool. But then what I didn't know is that Artemis actually is also another character, and that is Tigress. And as Tigress, she's got a very different costume and a very different design altogether. I really like the mask. I think it's really cool looking. Of course, that's one of the benefits of LEGO DC Supervillains, is that as we get new DLC packs, if you pause the game and you go into the customizer, you'll see it even says it right there, new, with an exclamation mark, because there's new parts that are added into the customizer as a result of the DLC, which is always very cool to see. Regardless though, let's stay focused on the task at hand, and we have Tigress here, who of course has the really cool sword attack. She does actually also have a crossbow ability, at least inside the Young Justice level, which is called the Summit. I do remember her having a crossbow or a bow, so it's kind of odd that now she does not have one, but I could have sworn there was one on her when we were playing as this character in the Summit level. So from there, let's go on ahead and transition away from Artemis, and by the way, that's the transformation scene between the two, and move right along to Aqualad. Sorry, I went into vehicles by mistake. To Aqualad. Now, obviously, this is Aqualad as he's seen when he joins Black Manta and the Black Manta team and the Supervillains when he goes into, I guess, undercover. And this is his design for that particular look, because obviously in Season 1 of Young Justice, he had a very different costume with like a red kind of sweater sort of thing going on. He does have a really cool ground pound attack. He does have his water swords available, which is super cool. And he can create a water splash effect, so that is definitely pretty neat. Now let's go on ahead and actually take a look at the other version of Aqualad that is in the game, which would be this one, which looks a lot more similar to the first season of Aqualad. So you'll see that obviously there's some similarities. I mean, I guess like the face, I think the face is exactly the same, I want to say. Like even the print work, eyebrows, yeah, everything looks the same. The hair seems to be the same, maybe just a little, well, actually, yeah, maybe the color's a little off, because this one's more blonde, whereas this one seems a little bit more white. And then the costume is obviously substantially different between these two. So from Aqualad, let's move right along to our next character, which is actually going to be Kid Flash. This is the Young Justice version, which I think is probably the coolest costume for this guy. I think it's just a really cool looking costume. I like the helmet. I like the design for the costume itself. I think it looks pretty sweet. And when I saw the Kid Flash that was in this game, I was actually kind of hoping that it would be this variation, and unfortunately it wasn't. So that was a little upsetting. But now we have this variation available, which is awesome. If you're wondering about the other version of Kid Flash, it would be... Oh, wait. Well, I guess they had a completely different version, but I could have sworn they had... Where's the other variation of Kid Flash? There was another one. Oh, this one, but it was the Wally West. It wasn't Kid Flash. Okay, never mind. I don't know why I thought that this was Kid Flash. Let me see. I could have honestly sworn that there was another version of Kid Flash, because when we were building customs, it would always pop up. Was there a DLC of Kid Flash? No, we had The Flash. I don't know why. I was like 100% certain that there was another version of Kid Flash. I guess there isn't. So regardless, very different takes on the character. I forget which one is which as far as like their actual names of the characters outside of their super heroic counterparts, but the costumes are actually different. You can see that even the one on the left has the like striking kind of spikes up and down sort of look, whereas the one on the right has more of a smoother design for the actual costume. They do have completely different idle animations, and the masks are different quite a bit, because the one on the right actually has the goggles, which I like better. I think it looks cooler, and it's a better design in my opinion. Now, from there, we transition to Superboy, which actually kind of looks very, 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 very plain, but that's what he looked like in Young Justice. He doesn't have very many abilities either. He can't even fly, which stinks. He does have the super jump ability, so that's kind of cool. So you can leap really, really far up, so that's really cool. But he doesn't have laser vision. He does not have... he does have super strength, but he does not have ice breath or anything like that, because I guess those abilities are still not available to Superboy at the time when he is Superboy in Young Justice. The other version of Superboy is actually cooler in my opinion, because it's just like a proper costume and it looks really, really unique and different. So for that, I had to give it some credit. But it's almost like we have now several versions of Superboy, whereas like this almost looks like kid Superboy, and this is kind of more of the grown-up teenager Superboy. But it is kind of funny that this one actually has way more abilities than the one on the right. So I guess that doesn't really make much sense. But regardless, let's move right along to my absolute favorite character in this particular DLC pack, and that is Miss Martian. Not only is she absolutely awesome looking as Miss Martian, a very cool design for her as it is. I think just a really cool costume, really cool cape. I love that she floats around, never like walks around. That's a really cool touch. I love that she's got this like stretch effect. You can see when she's fighting, she's constantly like stretching. She's almost like Mr. Fantastic in the Lego Marvel games. So I think that that's really cool. She has this really cool tornado spinner attack. She also does have charge up attack, which looks really neat with this kind of green lightning effect all around it. But the coolest part about this character is this. How freaking awesome is that? She can turn into the alien form of Miss Martian, and it looks terrifying. Like, for a Lego game, I have to say I did not expect for them to make her quite this terrifying, but she turned out really, 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 really cool. You got this menacing grimace on her face. She does have the scanner ability available in this mode. She does have super strength in this mode, and overall, she's one of the most unique looking big figs that we now have in Lego DC Supervillains. In my opinion, this is the absolute best figure of the entire bunch that we got in this last DLC pack. And then close second is this one right here, Black Beetle. So I'm not really sure who Black Beetle is, because I don't remember this character appearing in Young Justice like season 1 or 2 for that matter. So, but I could be wrong, maybe I just don't remember. But I really love this design. I love that it is actually somewhat similar to Blue Beetle. So for example, if we bring up Blue Beetle right here, you can see that they both basically wear that kind of like scarab on their back, the Blue Beetle scarab, I guess. So you'll see that that's sort of a very similar design, like with the claws and everything. You can see it's on both of the characters, and even the little spikes that are come over the like the shoulders and the chest. So I think that that's pretty cool. Even the mask is kind of similar. Like the design for the mask is pretty similar on both of these. So overall, I think it's a really cool design. It's something different. And again, anytime we get a big fig in the Lego games, it's always awesome because they're far and few between. So it's very cool to get another one in the game. Plus, it's a big fig that can fly, just like Ms. Martian, which is always awesome to see. Regardless, though, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think of this entire DLC pack. I'm genuinely curious to hear your opinions and thoughts as to which is your favorite character. We have Black Beetle, we have Ms. Martian. I guess technically it's kind of two characters because you also get the alien form of her. Then we have Superboy, then we have Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Tigress/Artemis. Let me know down in the comment section below which of those characters is your personal favorite. Don't forget to hit that like button on this video if you guys enjoyed, and make sure to check out the epic showcase videos that are coming up to the channel soon now that we have all the different characters available. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully see you here next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.